Shapps, Grant Shapps, Transport Secretary and now in charge of the Defence of England. Oh dear, aren't we in trouble? Grant Shapps. West faces existential battle about democracy. Well, yeah, it's a battle about democracy because Shapps is trying to take democracy away from us with his military force and with his the stand and deliver highway agency, which think that they seem to dominate the world. The juggernaut. Nothing stands in the way of the juggernaut and the juggernaut's finances, even though several people beat him in court multiple times, but they completely and totally ignore it. Parliament don't want to intervene in anyone's court's issues, but yet when you beat them in court, then, now we can intervene. Shapps needs to set up a system where the public vote on all military operations and actions. Because at the end of the day, it's either Charles's military or it's the public's military. And if it's the public's military, then the military can't attack the public. Or the military cannot be used against the public. It would be something if the military and the entire police had been used to stop illegal immigration, and which is putting the crime up through the roof and then blaming it on us and using all the tech and facial recognition and surveillance to watch us. If it had actually used the army and the entire police... In fact, the fact that the police aren't solving hardly any percentage of actual crimes that are happening, and the fact that the police actually... Right, we'll take a snapshot, 1800... in the Hansard, crime's going up through the roof because of all the new cities that we're building everywhere. Right, snapshot, 2024, assessment, evaluation. How's our new police force doing that we created in 1836 under Sir Robert Peel, the entrepreneur of the police force who happened to be responsible for Parliament burning down? Didn't he, Grant Shapps? Let's take an evaluation on this new invention. How is it doing, Grant? The police. Let's have a look. Crime level's gone up through the roof and he's out of control. I'd call that a failure, Grant. A complete and total failure. What have they got? Tasers, equipment, bomb disposal, helicopters, even tanks. A station in every town, massive amounts of staff, bulletproof vests. What else would you like, Grant, on the police budget? Are you stopping crime? No. What does that tell us, Grant? It tells us it is a failure. The project of Sir Robert Peel's police, Grant, is crap. It's failed. F, Grant. F for fail. A is doing good. A plus is a distinction. It's doing F, Grant. F, fail. Right? So we need to do something different, something else. For Jesus Christ, God's sake, it's a miracle that, Guy Fawkes was apprehended, by the citizens, and his small gang, the Bow Street Runners, or the posse, No, we'll bring his own. Maybe if we were bringing his own, instead of ringing up the police, can you help me out? Oh, no, sorry. We're not going to do that. Well, how about, look, these are a lot of private prosecutors everywhere for quite cheap, £250, even an entire week's wage. Sorry, we can't prosecute anyone for under £5,000, Has anyone ever been to a magistrate's court and been prosecuted and seen, what the prosecutor even does? If they can be bothered remembering what even the case is, if it pops up on the screen properly, have you been briefed on this case? Or I'll have to brief myself now on the computer screen, well, haven't you revised it by any chance, possibly? Phil. And now we're under threat from the armed forces who are supposed to be there to protect us from foreign threats. But no, we're inviting the foreign threat into the country. Now the foreign threat is the civilian threat. And now we've got enough foreign agents in place around the country, please forgive me, and, leading the government. Now it's not, we can't identify it as a foreign threat, because that would be racist. And then we would be arrested and put in prison, because then there's something wrong with us. Let me just have a look at these crime figures again. Ethnic minorities causing all the crime, according to the police force. And all the real intelligent crime, mastermind crime, like, corrupt illegal ministers, no, they're not getting apprehended, it's a fail. It's wrong. Gone. And now, Grant Shapps, his nice little tunnel project that he signed off and passed, which happens to be illegal and criminal, now he's not happy, because now we've got now Grant is a criminal. Hey, Grant, welcome. You're a criminal. Maybe the top criminal, because you were in charge of the Highways Agency. Even though you're breaking long-established English laws, which are not meant to be broken, explicitly not meant to be broken. That would be something, wouldn't it? It seems all the criminals are in Parliament. Well, no, they got parliamentary privilege. Well, apparently not so much anymore. When we use Jeremy Johnson's paper for what it was designed for, cleaning the toilet out, it seems that we can prosecute members of Parliament and the Lords. Oh, what a shame for you, Grant. What a shame. It's actually about time we actually did uphold the law. Because we need crime, and we're actually being blamed for it because, we're racist or whatever, no offense to Novara Media or anyone like that. Not saying that I grew up through the majority of my life, loving everyone equally, without any grievance whatsoever, until you wake up and smell the coffee of what's going on. Grant seems to be requiring crime to justify their complete and total global domination project of facial recognition, scanning, computer surveillance, undercover police officers, you name it, they're doing it, but they're not solving the crime with that. What they're actually doing is expanding their current network and making facilities so they can make normal behavior crime. Everyday normal behavior and critique is now crime, and we all need to be, surveillanced. And then by the time they're finished, then they will be solving all the crime, because no crime will go undetected, but no one will be able to do anything which they don't have permission to do, say, or think, and there won't be any countries in the world. It will just be, there won't be any religions left to protect. There won't be any ethnic groups left to preserve, because they'll be either destroyed, dead, or neutralized. It will just be, quality streets, or, roses, or whatever you want. And the only religion is going to be the corporate consent, submit, accept. You put your hands together and say your prayers. No, now it's, consent, submit, accept. Consent, submit, accept. Consent, submit, accept. The new oath. Consent, submit, accept. You can't be that far off now getting the new oath in Parliament. consent, submit, accept, with the hand held. Oh, no, we can't hold the hand up in the air because that would look a little bit too fascist, wouldn't it? Just say it. Don't hold the hand up at the same time. Don't hold the book, the policy book. We can delete you or your account for any reason or no reason. You cannot say anything about anyone, if it upsets them, or actually, just, as particularly these new servant robots going around everywhere who will be replacing people because they don't have a political opinion. They just, follow orders. No, I think the existential battle about democracy is actually about people having an opinion, which is not Tory or Labour, which is actually the opinion of a person, not a party. Opinion of people, not entities. Hey, I'm a person. I've got a political opinion. No, this is a party and we have policies, It's the fault of the industry. It wants fully automated material existence, fully automated, policy-driven existence, which is created by either a party or a corporate company. You might as well call. Why? It's time to break the facade, Shapps. Why call it Labour? Well, it will be Labour when it's all machines and robots and there aren't any humans or people. And then the Labour Party will just be in fact, it will be Keir Starmer's new Bluetooth orders to the Labour force, which will be completely automated and mechanised. And, if anyone gets in the way of the Labour force, then the military will be coming or the police after them. Get out of the way, Peck. There's a juggernaut coming through the highway. This is it. It's space station, satellite, hadron collider, fully automated reality to the master plan of the overlords, or it is the people voting. We don't want to send our army here. We don't want to send our army there. Give the orders to the general, to the admiral, But I don't think Shapps seems to be on that page. He's still on the page of the Supreme Emperor's directives, which are to, progress into the stars, into the stratosphere, progress. Yet, what is the progress of crime? Well, it's doing very well. It's nearly doing as well as these corporate entities. If all of these corporate entities' funds had actually, gone into the police, I still don't think that the police would do any better, to be honest, because the police seem to be there to protect the government rather than to actually protect the people, unless there's an accident or incident, And I don't think Shapps likes the law. I don't think Shapps believes in the law, because the law actually prevents Shapps from doing half of his projects, which is not productive for the Conservative or Labour Party. We need to start getting rid of these parties and go back to either a parliament that has independent persons. We need some surveillance on these MPs to make sure they're not actually members of these parties or affiliating or forming parties. They're trying to stop us from forming political groups, which actually, 5% of the undercover police was against political parties, which were the ones who were protected. All of the charities have been set up and all of the tax and VAT set up, supposedly so you're exempt, but we haven't been exempted. They haven't been telling the truth. Independent political groups haven't been able to flourish and challenge these major parties. So it is the management of the company. And as it turns out, according to the policies of local councils, you can't have a political party, because as soon as you're elected, you have to be selfless, and you can't vote or make any decisions of a political party. You have to make fresh decisions of what come on new evidence in the chamber and what the people vote on. And people vote one way in a party in an election time, but when it comes to any other matter which affects them in their own town or neighbourhood, they vote differently. So political parties are actually illegal. It's an error. It's a defect in democracy. But they've got so powerful now, criminally, and you can see the effects of that in the businesses that they've vouched for, where we've got problems because we've been taken over, and all of the money and wealth, which is supposed to be distributed between everyone for everyone's benefit, is only now for the benefit of a select minority of persons who they think that they're fit to use all of the knowledge and the progress of mankind to redesign mankind, smooth out the errors, corrective. But the final frontier of corrective errors seems to be in the ministers, seems to be in the company owners, executives. That's where the errors need to be smoothed out, but they're not little errors, they're big ones, like parliamentary privilege, like the Highways Agency, like actually how the political parties run, how even they take an oath, and how a council even makes decisions in a chamber when it's meant to be a former type of court. Mayors and aldermen, jurats, and courts of civil requests. I've got a civil request. How's about we not have a Minister for Defence anymore, and we have a new voting computer whereby everyone votes, and then if Tony Blair, then we don't have Tony Blair being blamed for genocide. Instead, if it would have been our vote, we could have just blamed ourselves. We could have locked ourselves up. If we'd have thought the Iran war was illegal, we could have just gone and handed ourselves in. It's our own fault for voting for it.